I got rid of all sorts of shit. Bang. 1, 2, 3, we here. Hopefully my shit is soft. I got a bunch of people in the house. What's good? I feel like it's been like a week or so since I've hit a live, the All-Star break. I've been grinding, man. Getting in shape. Who we got in here? We got like 3 cats. Tony, Connor, what's good? Man, just sound checking right now and making sure everything is good. I think the webcam works a little better. It's cold as hell here in Arizona, relatively cold. Let's see here. Y'all hear me? Harden's out. Oh, man. That is weak, man. I really wanted, especially after they released that little Cook the Chef video for ESPN today, man. Come on with all that shit, man. That really, I hope we just destroy him anyway. Maybe Chris Paul. It's a dangerous thing. If I was a Rockets fan, my thinking would be I hope Chris Paul doesn't tax himself too much in this matchup. So they're going to have him out there for 35 plus minutes, D'Antoni. And maybe we'll just get to see Steph just cook Chris. Like, remember the infamous Clipper baseline taking the ankles? Yeah, he's out. He's out, Mark. Yeah, it's cold everywhere, man. So I usually, I try to pop these off with a little personal thing. And it's relative, but so I was driving to the gym this morning, and it was like 48 degrees early in the morning on my little mirror thermostat thing. So it's like super, like that's not crazy cold relative like to the rest of the country. But us Arizonans out here in the desert, like that shit is frigid. And we, sure enough, we use, obviously out here in the desert, everybody has to have an AC unit, right? But we don't use the heat that much. But we had flipped on the heat here, because I like to be warm. I'd rather be hot than cold. And the heat goes out, right? And of course, so we have to have the maintenance guy come through. And, he finally comes here. I get back from the gym and he's here and he's all chipper with the wife, and they're chatting, and he fixes it. I guess it had to defrost or de-thaw or whatever it is, right? And I was thinking like, yo, man, these AC dudes be coming in talking crazy innuendo to the housewives, right? To the woman that's home. They call the maintenance, the AC, the ducts out or the motor, right? They come in and they're like, well, I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna clean the pipes, and we'll see if something was blocking the pipes, and I'll let you know. So I was thinking about the innuendo involved in that. But anyway, yeah, man, it's cold. So you see me bundled up here. Let me catch up on some of this. Cervical neck. Okay, yeah, you're talking about Harden's thing. I missed I was going to watch that Laker Rockets game after the Warrior game against Sacramento, but then the Warriors telecast ruined the outcome for me. And they were like, the Lakers just beat Houston. And, what do we got here on this? And, I don't know. I have a hard time watching games when I know the outcome. I really hate it being spoiled. So I watched the extended highlights of it, but I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't know when Harden hurt that shit. The neck, I think we all wake up with those. That sounds like a kink in the neck. And when you turn to one way and it bites you all the way down your trap, right? Yeah, no Harden, man. That takes the steam way out of this thing. Way out of it. I saw that, Kyle. I saw, man, when he ripped the arm down. You saying he almost Kelly Oubre'd. He almost got Kevin Loved, right? Yeah, that was vicious and malicious, man. Chris Paul's unlikable, and we spoke on this. We've spoke on this a bunch of times. Did you go see? If you look it up, I'll have to post it sometime. Maybe I'll post it on the Patreon. There's a full interview of Big Baby Davis. Not that he is the moral police, but he was like basically fuck Chris Paul. He was like, this dude is a bitch. No one likes him. And he'll go, apparently Chris Paul, the way he operates is he'll act hella cool to everybody on the team. But then like he'll go to like the higher ups or the coach or whoever, and he'll be like, yeah, so-and-so, da, da, da. Like he dry snitches, and he's a kid. I'm not feeling him. I don't think many people are. Yeah, no more banana boats. But Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know how much to talk about this matchup. I guess the whole thing was, those of you that missed it, there was a little, someone had tweeted it out to me, Joshua, shout out Joshua if he's watching. There was like a little 2-minute hype video from ESPN and ABC because, you know, the ratings are trying to get these ratings popping. And it was basically that Harden, when Steph is switched on to Harden, his points per 100 possessions is like the highest in NBA history, right? And okay, fine. And it's valid. Like, there's no doubt that Houston's strategy, they try to switch Steph on him and pick on him. Remember in the playoffs when Steph kind of rose to the occasion and tried to get really physical. But one, that's somewhat sensationalized to the fact that it's like, yo, who can guard either one of them? Let's look at the points per 100 possession with Steph and Harden on everybody in the league. Like, no one's stopping these dudes, right? And then two, it's just, that's the strategy. What do you? I don't know. They're making too much of it. But Josh asked me, how do you avoid this? It's simple. Stop switching. I think that we've seen Denver and Milwaukee utilize this strategy on Harden, and it's basically have your guards fight over or through, around, or under the screens, and just pursue him and contest from behind. Pause. Right? And then basically concede the mid-range shot. Because if you look at his heat map, and obviously Houston and Daryl Morey's strategy or philosophy is layups or threes, right? They don't believe in mid-range jumpers. So Harden, don't get me wrong, he can knock them down, but it's not his preferred weapon. And so force him into the mid-range. That means Boogie just hang. Boogie hangs, the big Loonier Boogie, you hang and kind of just show at the mid-range level where he can't get that pass to Capella and dare him to pull up. I mean, if we're not fouling Harden and we're not giving up threes, how many shots does he need to get to 30? Not that he's playing tonight, right? But I'm just talking big picture. How many shots does he need to get to 30 from the mid-range? That would be the strategy. ZX, I was looking forward to it too. I'm, you know, and that's spoiled fan syndrome of the Warriors, but you know, we want them all at full strength, man. You know, so the Lakers, you see, are getting beat by the Pelicans right now. And I don't know if those of you that caught my YouTube video this morning, it was the Watch the Throne Part 2 Western Conference. And pretty predictable, pretty, you know, there was nothing groundbreaking on it, but I had promised Part 2. And I obviously picked the Thunder as the greatest threat in the Western Conference. And then, you know, I don't think the Lakers are going to make it. I've said this before. I don't think the Lakers are going to make it. I think LeBron's going to shut it down. I do. I think that those kids are going to catch feelings. I really think they're missing Lonzo. Because if you watch, he gets them. Not only is he their best defender and gives the most effort, sound defender on the perimeter, but he gets them playing fast, right? His transition and his defense leads to them playing fast, and that's what they're missing. I don't know. I just saw the score. They were up 10. I'm assuming he's playing his 25 minutes or whatever they're gonna hold him to. But you have to think about it. I didn't think about it until I saw the score, but I was like, it makes sense that Drew Holiday, Julius Randle has various reasons, right? But wouldn't that Pelicans roster be kind of like, oh, we're going to fuck these dudes up, right? We're going to go at their neck. So I imagine they brought out all sorts of animosity that's been bottled up towards this Laker organization and is taking it out on their young roster. But, you know, it was only halfway through the game. That's a great point, Tony, because what was the last main game where Steph just came out? Oh, okay, it was the Laker game. It was the Laker game. And Tony, you probably were the one that brought it up, right? Steph came out in that Laker game completely flat. Remember, he didn't score till like the fourth quarter. He didn't make a field goal. And it was that LeBron, we had this theory, this hypothesis of that when he heard LeBron wasn't playing, he really lost interest in the game and he just wasn't dialed in. He wasn't locked in, Dub Nation. And this same thing could hold true with Harden. I think we owe Houston. I know Major Powers and a couple of you in the pregame were predicting maybe that a blowout or, you know, what it's going to be. I think we owe Houston because you look at, they spanked us the night after the KD Draymond beef. And then, of course, Harden with the game winner at Oracle, man. So, I don't know. Oh, AD ain't playing and they're still spanking him. The realist, you predict he wins another chip. I think that's, I would lean that. I would, I wouldn't bet it to just like bet my own money. But if I had to bet yes or no, I'd bet, yeah, he ain't going to, or no, he's not going to win one. So I agree. But like, back on that LeBron thing, because think about it, just like I said in the video, we're going to get a turbocharge out of him these next 2 weeks, but they have the toughest schedule. They lose like 2 or 3, then you're going to see what's good, because when they win, yeah, we're united. I love my team. What do you say? I love my team, guys. I love my roster, right? So it's easy to say that shit when they come back from down 19 and beat the Rockets at home, but you lose to the Pels, or you get beat by Orlando or some shit, man. Come on. It's good. I think it's going to get ugly, and I think he may have to shut it down. And the Laker Nation will lose their mind, right? They will be burning. They will. Kobe. I want to hear from Kobe. I want to hear from Kobe. Let me catch up on a couple of these. Is Quinn Cook going to be unplayable in the playoffs? Styles make fights. So, I mean, depending. So let's say what would be our projected first round matchup? You got the Kings, the Clippers. Did you guys realize this? I don't know how many of you listen to kind of like the national pod circuit of basketball talk and that stuff with Windhorse and Lowe and those guys. But apparently the Clippers are all in to make the playoffs. Excuse me. But they're all in to make the playoffs. And it was kind of a split, like, but internally, Ballmer and co, or not even Ballmer, Jerry West and them want to obviously keep their draft pick and kind of tank it out. But Ballmer is hyper competitive. And then like Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, all these guys that are kind of like chip on the shoulder of Patrick Beverly, kind of been told that they're not enough their whole careers, right? They're always like they're chip on their shoulder role players. And then they secretly got, what's his name? Zubac. They got Garrett Temple. Who else did they get? They picked up a couple guys, man. So it could be a Clipper Warrior first round. I think that I was talking with Mark earlier, right? We were exchanging about I think that either the Clippers or the Spurs would be the preferred first round matchup as far as big picture, like winning, saving energy, and like getting a safe win. Now, entertainment-wise, Sacramento or the Lakers, obviously, would be much more entertaining than the Spurs or Clippers. Let me catch up. What's my prediction on the score tonight? I usually don't do those, man, but I will say, 120, 127, 115 Golden State. Like, I expect us to beat them. I think we owe them. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you look at the way that these two teams shoot the three ball with Harden out. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like I said, Chris Paul, it would not shock me. I would usually knock on wood, but fuck Chris Paul. It would not shock me if Chris Paul came up gimpy in this game, because he's going to have to kind of obviously take the lead here. And he's so competitive. He doesn't like that Steph kind of owns his ass. And he may overexert himself here. And the only way I think they stay in it is if they get big nights from Austin Rivers, Fareed, and those corner three ball guys. Harden out, man. I feel like this has been how many times has this happened to us this year? So you had just LeBron sit out, Harden sit out. I feel like it's happened like 3 times in like the last 3 months. Let's see, catch up on these. What's good, Jeremy? What's good? Yeah, Matt, I agree. I think that's the way we got to look at it, is if it's not going to be super competitive, then hopefully we can see Cousins continue to take strides with his balance and his legs. Now, something else that I was talking about in this Watch the Throne, the threats in the Western Conference, was that you saw that Thunder game last night. I don't know how many of you caught that double overtime. Donovan Mitchell and Paul George just going toe. Well, Westbrook and Mitchell were going toe to toe, but then Westbrook fouled out of the game. And my takeaways from that was just watching that. And I broke it down in the video. I hate to repeat myself, but watching their length and athleticism, and then combine that with the amount of passes we make on a single possession, you're just playing a dangerous math problem, right? And then Steven Adams. Now, the rumor is that Marcin Gortat is holding out, that I've read somewhere that he turned down an offer from Milwaukee and various other teams in hopes of signing with the Warriors. Now, was it triple OT? No, yeah, it was double OT. Paul George with a windmill in overtime, like that's impressive to have those legs and that confidence. But anyway, so let's say it's Marcin Gortat. It doesn't look like Lopez is going to be bought out. It doesn't look like Dwayne Dedmon's going to be bought out or any of these other guys that we have our eye on. So Gortat is not ideal, but he is big and physical. He could give his 5 fouls, his 6 fouls. And he's decent. He's a good screener. He's a decent role guy. Like when he goes downhill and gets a head full of steam, he's all right. But what was interesting was, if you remember, in Boogie's debut, it was against the Clippers in LA, and he was popping shit at Gortat. He was like, don't get me started with this dude. Like, don't even get me started with that, basically kind of indicating like fake tough guy dude Gortat. So I bring that up because obviously, is it worth it to bring him in and disrupt chemistry? And it's not like we're bringing in a guard that Boogie doesn't like. This is a dude that would directly be playing Boogie's minutes. And so that may be difficult for Kerr to navigate or steer. I don't think it's going to back them all. I don't think they're not going to sign him because of Boogie, but I'm just saying it could be a problem. Slater and the guys, Thompson, they were saying that, Boogie was in the hallway at the Sacramento game with his brother talking shit about wanting to finish the game. And so I'm very confident in Kerr laying down the line, like just being like, sorry, Boogie, like, I don't care what you say. I'm going to play Iguodala. I'm going to go out with my small 5 or whatever it is it may be. But I'm not so confident or sure how DeMarcus is going to act because we already know his personality. And then then the situation makes it difficult because he has like a lot of money on the line, honestly, right? That Spurs, oh yeah. That game was dope. I think that Kawhi is getting too much credit. DeMar on that play, he didn't swipe DeMar. DeMar's foot, if you watch, his shoe went out from under him, but it is what it is. I guess Kawhi applied the pressure. But my one takeaway from that game, and I was talking my wife's ear off and my daughter's ear off, they're like, whatever, just say it on video, Dad, was Kawhi. Kawhi is in the top 10 tier, right? That he's in tier 1 of stars, right? Clearly, no one's going to argue that. But what I find interesting is that he's not as refined and polished down the stretch like in an ISO situation to get himself a basket. And it's kind of almost like he doesn't really know what he wants. Like he doesn't really have go-to moves and setups. Like he's fundamentally sound. His handle has gotten better, and obviously his shot has gotten better. But Steph, Dame, Harden, KD, even Giannis has the drop step, the spin move. All of the elite guys, when push comes to shove, they know what they're going to do with the ball. They know how they're going to get their shot, whether it's a jab step, a dribble move, or a footwork, right? And Kawhi kind of strikes me as like not really knowing what he wants to do with the ball. And I think that it's a product of him playing with the Spurs for so long. He hasn't got to like develop and nurture that skill. And so that's what's lagging behind for him. And I point that out because in the playoffs, you can see clearly Nick Nurse and the Raptors, and I wonder how much of this plays into wanting him to re-sign. They're going to give him the ball and clear out, right? They're going to give Kawhi the ball and clear out down the stretch of games. It's just that simple. Let me catch up on some of these. You guys still talking center position? Yeah, the Damian Jones thing is interesting because you also... what's encouraging is the torn pectoral. His lower body should be in shape. You would think, by all accounts, he's a hardworking kid. So, they have those gravity, like Norditracks, and he should be able to come back with his legs in shape. It's up here, though. It's up here because he already is kind of, lacking in confidence. He doesn't have the juice, as I like to say. And so that's what I worry about Damian is he going to be physical and aggressive coming off, I want to say, the second time he's torn his pectoral. So that's clearly a muscular imbalance in his body. Justin, if you're here watching, Justin always comes with the straight medical shit that he's on point with. But there's some sort of medical imbalance. I'm guessing between his back and his chest muscles. One of them are over. If his back, how would it be? If his back was not activated and not as strong as his chest, then his chest would take too much of the... Anyway, I ain't going to pretend to know. Cop the Nike bandana. The thing is, I don't like the little flap in the back, man. I don't like the little flap in the back with the old school. I'm gonna get the thick double wide like Bron. Yeah, they're gonna have to talk to him. And I'll be honest, like I think DeMarcus's defense has been better than I thought it would be. I think his offense has been a little worse than I thought it would be, honestly. Like, I know he fills the stat sheet and he gets his touches, but admit it, when he gets the ball and you can tell he's looking to score, which is pretty much every time, do you feel like, I don't know about y'all, but I feel I'm kind of like, oh, like, yeah, I feel a little apprehensive. Like, I feel like, is he going to foul somebody or is he going to just fall over? And so, well, I mean, he's still got time. He's still got time. Someone said he played brain dead basketball. Who's that? These lights, man. I got the lights on this because I'm using this shitty webcam on the computer. These lights are like in my eyes. They're hurting my eyes. The offense, I'm not caught up with what y'all are talking about, but I guess my last point on last night's game, moving back to the OKC Utah, and shout out my guy who asked me the other day. He had a fight with an office worker about somehow it came down. His friend likes Utah and thinks Utah could get to the Western Conference Finals, and he was saying something about him, Donovan Mitchell being better than Dame Lillard, and not yet. Like, let's slow down with that. He's not nearly the shooter or shot maker that Dame is. Defensively, his effort is better. But what struck me down the stretch of that game with Utah is they're asking Mitchell to do way too much, right? Hopefully I'm not, why is my shit dropping here? Y'all need to get off. I'm waiting here a second to make sure my stream doesn't break. Okay, it looks like I'm good now. I'm back. I should be back, right? I'm putting this over in the corner. Bogus, man. Matt asking about the live stream for the game. Yeah, I'm gonna bring some of those in there at a certain point. But like I was explaining earlier in the comments, I have to watch. If I do that and a breakdown, basically I'm gonna have to watch the game like 3 times. Once with the live stream, once again to watch notes and really absorb it, and then the third watch is kind of within the edit. And so that's a lot to commit to for one game. But I'm going to do some live stream stuff. You know what I may do? I may do some live stream in the playoffs for other games. So then I don't have to worry about the breakdown and we can just have some fun for those of you that are home watching other games. But I'm definitely going to do more of it. My real apprehension is this damn internet. And y'all, those of you that saw me like rage when it kept not working, I'm traumatized. I don't want the shit to cut out on me. And so I have to continue to make sure that's good. Mitchell will get you 30. I was impressed with Joe Ingles' defense on Paul George. Like, I know Paul got his numbers. What do you have? Damn near 50. But Ingles is very adept at like just being a nuisance. And he crowds guys that he shouldn't, like, on paper crowd, right? Like you say, if he crowds Paul George, he's going to go right around him. But he's very nuanced in the way he uses his contact and his physicality. Damn, man, I don't know why this is skipping, but hopefully this one's not going to be too much longer and it'll hold good. I've got, probably 3 kids streaming 4K Netflix and going live on their Instagram. Like, sorry, Dad. Yeah, Ingles, and I love watching. Well, and I was more curious. We know what Ingles is, and I don't say that derogatory. I mean, like, we know that he prides himself as an irritant. Yeah, I'm dropping. I don't know why it's dropping, and then it's going to, like, I'm looking at my KBS, and it's going up to 5,000 and dropping to 0. If my kids can hear me, get the hell off the internet. Let me catch up with a few questions before we wrap this up. Do I watch shows like Undisputed and Coward? I'll catch some, I'll download, like if I'm in the car or I know I'm going to be waiting for something or something, I'll download the podcasts. I don't watch the shows anymore, man. They're so sensationalized. They're so silly. They're like arguing things that they don't even believe. Like, and I say I don't watch it, but I have an example because one thing, if I do happen to get woken up early by one of the kids or something, my sleep schedule is different. I may flip it on and try to go back to bed. And I caught Skip and who was filling in for Shannon, the light-skinned brother, Broussard. And Skip is like trying to take away from, he's trying to disagree with Broussard about LeBron and how well he played in that Houston game. And he was like, I'll give you this. I'll give you this. I'll give you this. And it was like, well, clearly you don't disagree, fool. It's retarded. Yeah, man. I'm hardline to mine. 10 gig up, 10 gig down. Yeah, I checked my MBs. My megabytes, they should be, but you know how shit fluctuates. My upload is 30 upload, and then the download should be like 300. I'm paying for the max in my area, and I'm on an iMac on standard OBS shit, so I don't know what the deal is. Barnes seems like he's like sedated on like heroin or some shit when he talks. But I mean, his takes are, I fuck with Barnes, but damn, you want to talk about low energy. And then Colin Cowherd, I think I respect what he does. Like he is really good at those monologues and kind of getting you irritated at what he's saying. But he's the thing that I catch with Colin Cowherd is he contradicts himself like a motherfucker. Like just to make a point, he'll basically completely contradict something that he was making a point on like 2 weeks before. And you're like, bro, and I get it. I get it's for the show, but I am a principally driven man. So it is what it is. Gottlieb's the G. Yeah, Gottlieb is my favorite. Aaron, you're right. Gottlieb's the best, dude. Even though he looks like he doesn't sleep, I fuck with Gottlieb. Gottlieb just brings it. He's pure. He is the best basketball guy on there. Broussard is all right, but he's kind of generalized. I think what happens with a lot of these dudes that have been in the industry for so long is they've built so many relationships around the league. They really can't pop off and say some real shit. They really can't, right? Like Broussard, how many connections and sources does he have within the Lakers and all these things, right? He can't really. He's told what he can say, and he kind of has to like say what they want to hear. Otherwise, his sources will get cut. So it's tough on those dudes. It is. Do I believe the whole Scott Foster saga? I think there is. Yeah, I do. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not saying I believe all of it, right? What's the saying? There's two sides that both people are lying, and then in between is the truth. I butchered that, but you know what I'm saying. So I think there's something to it, man. I've seen too many funny business calls. I watch the games too closely. Like basketball is so much a part of my life that it's like I know when there's funny business going on. I know it. So yeah, I believe it a little bit. What do we got here? We're about to wrap up on this. I know they dragged this shit out. Now the stream is all good. Any last questions? If not, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll be back with a breakdown tomorrow. And we'll do a full live. We'll do some more full live games. I gotta plan it out, like I said, and possibly maybe not Warrior ones. You wish there were more like MMA analysts. It's different culture. My favorite guys are the boxing guys. The old school guys like Teddy Atlas and stuff like that. I love that shit. I love how hyped they get. It's so genuine and passionate. And the analogies and shit are just OG, man. Defensive player of the year. I'm going to go in Paul George right now. I'm going to go, it's like a constellation prize to the MVP. Giannis will win MVP. Paul George, defensive player of the year. And Draymond, that super max. It ain't happening. But you got to love Giannis. You got to love the story of Giannis. Just that doc over All-Star Weekend. You know how much that increases his MVP campaign? Because he's so likable. He's a fresh face. And he's going up against the most disliked superstar in Harden. So I think Giannis is going to run away with the MVP. And the Defensive Player of the Year, it's still up for grabs. But right now, PG's in the lead just because of his overall game, the level that he stepped it up to. Howard Cosell, yes, sir. Yeah, those OGs, you can't beat them, man. You can't beat that bass line in their voice and just the unflackableness of their commentary. I'm gonna yeah, Ruti. What do I still have that? Ruti. I don't have a good French accent. Anyway, y'all, enjoy the game. I expect us. Let's see if Boogie closes, or let's watch his minutes. I think that's the story within the story. I think Steph is due. I know he's hit back-to-back 10 3-point games, but he's due a good game against Houston. Let's see if that little promo piece on he and Harden fires him up, even though Harden's not in the game. And I think we should get a nice win and maybe a little statement, even if they don't have the beard. Anyway, I'll see y'all in a little. I'm out.